Well, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the Zwift Community Live broadcast of the Zwift Racing League presented by WTRL. We are into Season 3, Week 7. Dave, just stepping back for a moment as I say those words, I'm actually really impressed with everything that has been going down to this point and how much this sport has been building. 3 seasons, we're into Week 7. Team time trial, one of the best time trial courses that you could be on. You just got done a few hours ago doing Premier Division. Looked like it was a very close racing in the women's race. I was watching, I was able to catch a little bit of the back end after we got done with the Europe, Middle East, and Africa broadcast as well here. Lots of racing, thousands and thousands of competitors across the entirety of the day. Is there any theme that you would pull out from what you saw in the racing this afternoon?
Well, first off, if you're impressed, I'm impressed because I think that's a great sign. It's been a great season, hasn't it? So to answer your question, yeah, the teams that got out fast, it was interesting. We did a 1K check and a 15.2K checkpoint.
Oh, wow.
And you really saw that getting off to a good start. And then obviously the teams that are together with some momentum coming over the top of the reverse climb makes a huge difference because you have got a long, flat haul from there on in. And circling back, the other thing was super close, and expect the same thing out here today across all of the A's, the B's, the C's, whether it's America's East or West. It's going to be close racing here. This course, you're right, Nathan. This is a great course for team time trialing.
Yeah, that's a good point about the reverse KOM. And I would figure, on that reverse KOM, let's take a quick little look. And this sometimes this graphic does this well, sometimes not much. I think this is one of the better courses for this specific type of graphic, actually, as it really gives us an idea of the terrain as well as where you are heading out on Watopia. The reverse KOM there, though, I think the reality of how sharp that descent is on the other side, if you come over the top together, you've got all 6 riders, you're able to really punch it and get the speed roll going on over and over again, get into that 57 kilometers per hour as quick as you can. Super tuck. If anybody's chasing back on, matches are burnt on a section that you are just supposed to be finding energy to use through the Fuego Flats. The other thing I would definitely want to highlight as well is leaving Fuego Flats and heading out of the Oasis into Titans Grove, but then leaving toward Ocean Boulevard. That is a crucial section as well. That little hump there, that's a good little minute plus climb. And that is very crucial on the back end of a course that's really taxing on the legs. You're going to have a lot of energy already used. And anybody who's got any reserves, any extra, I think that's time to turn the afterburners on and really kick it. You can gain some seconds there. So I like this course a lot because it has crucial points like that, as well as a very long drag to just show your skills when it comes to being a team and how cohesive you are, Dave.
Completely agree, Nathan. And that sector that the blue dot just went through, all of that flat out there in Fuego Flats, that is where the precision required to be excellent at team time trialing is required. And then the mental part of the game. So yeah, you have to be precise and stay focused there, but then the ability to keep your team together while setting the fastest time that you can through, there's a couple, as you mentioned, those pinch points. You're absolutely right. So really requires a well-rounded team. The directors will have their hands full out here. And the best point I think that you made there was the fact that if you're burning matches reorganizing after you get over the reverse KOM, that's where the top teams are going to start pouring more coal on the fire, right? And they're going to start rolling away while you're trying to just get back to even. And that's where the race is going to be won or lost in my mind, because everybody, Nathan, it's 29.1K today. Everybody, by the time they get down into that last couple K, are running on fumes.
Yeah, 100%. I think that and having crucial sections out on a course like that when everybody may be running on fumes, I think that also kind of pushes the riders to their limits and really shows where. That's why another reason why I like this course is because I also kind of I believe this course really is one of those courses that shows who the best is at this discipline. Teams, because it isn't like UCI Harrogate or something where it's just like, well, you're kind of really seeing who the best climbers are. You know what I mean? You're kind of really seeing who the best
group of climbers.
Yeah,
right. Best group.
With this, though, you're able to see who can keep it together on some climbs, who's got the good fitness. But then the back end of the course, you've got these sections that go, what do you got left in the tank? And can you keep it together? Because you have the Leaving Ocean Boulevard. You've got that final kick to the line. You also have the Into Titans Grove. So, again, enough about the course, I guess. I just really dig this one for TTTs. Let's jump right down into the images, though. We do have the ladies out on course. We will be covering tonight Division 1A for the women. We'll be covering Division 3B for the men. Division 1A for the women, Division 3B for the men. We will go through results as well as standings for the entirety of those divisions, though, as well. So get your phones out, get your screenshots ready to be able to look at all of that. And let's go ahead and jump right down in with Royal City. Royal City is out on course now at this point, hammering away. They have gotten onto one of the first crucial sections of the course, 7.6 kilometers in. Took them about 12 minutes to get here. It's Lederer, Farrell, Davies, Ulrich. Now Henderson off the back a little bit already. And not even 7K in. We've got Catherine Monks, Quick Baker right on the heels there coming in from Awesome AF.
Could be a lot worse than what we're looking at right now. Normally, Nathan, if we were on a flat section, I would say, oh gosh, let's get this together. But that's okay. These women are going to get up this and they'll be able to reorganize here in the next couple of minutes. The course comes at you very quickly out here as Royal City Cycling, Guelph, we know and love, as this team represents themselves very well. Taking a look at all of the squads that we've got out racing, they're starting in reverse order based on the seed on how they've done up till this point. A lot of these riders will have raced on this course before. Season 1, race 2 was out here on Mag 8. But here's a good look, Nathan. Thank you. 120 points there for Team Riot on top of the table. Agawat's coming for him, though.
Yeah, good to see Agawat jumping into that second place spot. And if they are able to grab a playoff spot out of this division, I think that's going to be quite the battle between those two. You know, I think Agawat getting the engine started to try and grab, some points and going up against some of the top teams and having Team Riot in and amongst your division. I mean, that's a big ask, I think, isn't it, Dave? I mean, the reality of having Anna Russell at the helm and the reality of this is a team that essentially has a mixture, in my opinion, even coming into season 2 and 3 of premier division type talent, and have raced at the highest level as well in some of the events that have been considered the top end of the esports in years past, prior to the Zwift Racing League being launched with the likes of Megan Rathfell and others. I think Agawat really had... they had themselves up against the wall to begin with. But I think in the second half of the season and even going into a playoff situation, you do have an underdog Cinderella story kind of going on there if Agawat can make something happen and they do make the playoffs. Now, they still have to make the playoffs, obviously, but I'm just kind of foreshadowing a little bit, something that could be a very cool story and a head-to-head going into a playoffs with Riot and Agawat.
Absolutely, Nathan. First off, your point about Team Riot, it rings true. I would say that if they were in Premier League, they would be one of the 8 best teams. So they'd be in the top 50% of the league if they were to jump in right now. Holy cow.
As we speak about Agawat, Awesome AF come flying by like the rest of the teams are standing still with only 3 riders. Catherine Mux has been on the front of this team since the beginning of the climb.
Wow. Boy, this is outstanding. Let's see what they can do. So we talked about fortune favoring the bold. Well, clearly that's going to be Awesome
they need
AF
Baker
out
on
here.
Now. They need her on now, though.
Wow. So again, this is a ride that sets a very fast marks out there as they're just going over the reverse KOM right now. You can see that arch here. All right. Well, so they were the 3rd team to start out here. Wadi Inc. was behind them inside out. You can see as we work our way through, we'll have a chance. But I did want to say 100% correct on Riot, Nathan. Adding that Agawat, there's a really good interview with Laura Perry in this edition. It's with Anna Russell, actually, in this edition of World of Zwift. And she talks about this time racing in this community. And man, do Martin and Steven do an incredible job bespoking the WTRL ZRL relationship with the community races. I'm just in awe of the work that they do. So, and I think it's really nice when you see people appreciating that. And Laura Perry is one person that, Nathan, if they were offered the invite to Premier, I don't think they'd accept it. I think that they like racing right where they are.
Interesting.
And that's based on what I heard her say in the interview. So I'm not just sort of making that up.
Yeah, yeah, no, and that's I don't think that that's anything to raise say oh whatever. I mean, I really
It's
think that
cool.
that's awesome to hear that in and amongst the community where they like to be racing, and the enjoyment just purely for the sake of that. And it really does speak to what the community has developed here as well. So, loving to hear it. Tilborn now to the front. This is the HJ Progress. See Grant on her wheel. E. See if we can get some more full names here coming on through. But Bank Smith with Comfort there as well. So HJ Project, not super familiar. This is a
Me either.
team
This
that's
is great.
really able to throw down on their fashion though today. It looks like I'm loving the kit that they've chosen and the way that it looks here amongst them.
It's funny, Nathan. You know why? Because they're hooked up with Waddy Inc. people. This is sort of a sister project of Waddy Inc., I believe. As this is Christine Grant, Emily Arcuri, Jennifer Comfort. Put a pin in that name for a moment for me. Kristen White, Christine Banks Smith, and Melissa. You were talking about Melissa Tymern there, and excuse me, Tilburn. I need to get my eyes checked. Is the Canadian? Christine is the Australian. Jennifer Comfort. I went to high school with a guy named Tony Comfort, who, much like Dave Stoller in Breaking Away, fell so in love with Italian racing, he changed his name to Tony Conforti. Isn't
There's
that
actually
great?
two Christines on this. It's Christine Grant and Christine Banks
White.
Smith.
Yeah,
We're seeing.
right.
Yeah. So and then Kristen White. So
Yeah.
plenty of Kristins and Christines here on the team. Melissa Tilburn, as you said, the Canadian on the team here. HJ Project. Let's see if we can find some more out here about the HJ Project from the Zwift profile here. They've got plenty. There's definitely a Waddy Inc. thing, as you were saying. Plenty of Waddy Inc. people on here. Heather Jackson Project eSports team is what I am seeing here. And they even got a little Facebook group going on as well. So they're very organized, it seems. Good to see.
I would have to say, Nathan, you remember, like, there's that moment the first time that we saw Beast Mode, the first time that we saw Agawatt. Well, the HJ project, I like the cut of your jib. They seem organized. They're going places, no doubt. So right on, Nathan. Thanks for finding them out here today. And they look like they've got the craft of team time trialing in hand at this point. We're looking at the heavy rotation on the front. Looks like some fresh horses are being called up to take some big pulls here. Just to hit some details for you, the teams here have 29.2K of racing. It's one big loop. Nathan did a great job of looking at the course for us. Once you get over, there's a couple sectors definitely where you get most of the climbing out there, but this is a course that the paramount skill is what they're doing right now here, drafting in formation. The new UI, still haven't really seen anybody completely solve this one yet. I don't know that you can.
I mean, it can be. The thing is that it really punishes little mistakes. It really, really does. And so, it's hard to tell even what those little mistakes are until you're super familiar with seeing them, knowing how they happen, and knowing how the game is going to interact with the power that you are putting in at any time. There's also the reality that it is a dance too, and the depth perceptions and noticing, you have to really pay attention to a lot of information all at once. If I'm using first person perspective, let's say I am Bank Smith here and it's actually coming from this avatar's eyes, I'll be watching that rear wheel, making sure how far the distance is between me and that rear wheel. At the same time, I'll also be watching the watts that she's putting out and whether or not I am going to be overtaking at any moment. At the same time, that might not be telling me enough information if it seems like my avatar is coming up on her avatar, and all of those things. They're a constant dance you are doing with the avatars around you, and then you have the avatars behind you, and if they're messing up, they start to push you off the wheel in front of you as well. So you're talking about 3 or 2 people dancing is one thing. You're talking about multiple people in a group dance trying to make it all have synchronicity. It's much more complicated, I think, than just actually not just I think. I know for a fact from experience and knowing how the game works. It is a synchronized dance of all 6 people having to be in unison, actually, about how they are doing what they are doing. That's why it takes a DS to really be behind that direction of it.
I was just going to say, Nathan, how would it be possible after what you just described to also DS? So here's the thing. You can DS, but how can you not do a crappy job? Because, or at least the quality of job that someone that could put their entire focus on it. Very interesting and well put. And I mean, when you think about it, right, from that perspective, so much data that you're processing in your brain while you're making these huge efforts, basically going hypoxic, that leave the directing to someone else. Doesn't that sound like the best rule of thumb?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, while you're trying to focus on your steps and then you're trying to also direct everybody else's steps,
Correct
it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
No,
Yikes.
it's just not
Yeah,
going to
yeah.
happen. I mean, especially at 180 beats per minute. So that's why the DS is so incredibly crucial when it comes to this and the way it all works. In real life, it's a little bit different because you just stick behind the wheel you've been told to stick behind, right? You don't overlap. If you do overlap, it doesn't really impact anybody too much except for yourself. Here, there's a lot more moving parts that you have to figure out for, and you don't have quite as much perception. You can't kind of just look over your shoulder. You have to really be able to read the game and the signals it's giving you, whereas in real life, you've got other signals that you're more used to. So if you're not used to a digital world, you're not a gamer necessarily, you might not be able to pick up on those signals quite as well as somebody who is familiar with the interactions with a digital world.
Yeah. Yeah. Look at this, Nathan. So we are still in with the HJ project, correct? Please tell me
Yes,
if I'm
we
wrong.
are 100%.
Okay.
Move back to inside now.
Didn't they look awesome? But you know what? Stay right where we are because this is inside, I believe, that we're looking at.
Yeah, inside out. They're just behind by 1 second to that Wadi Inc. SK, I think. The HJ project was the name there, but I think they may have done a brand swap because I believe it is Wadi Inc. SK on board.
Okay. Boy, there's going to be a lot to pay attention to as we are into the last part of season 3. I can't believe we're already here as next week's points race is going to be bananas. So this is going to be Andrea Miller, Carrie Merritt, Gabby Eady, Lori Pridham, and Mary Davies. And Mary, boy, I hope I'm pronouncing your name right, but I am always open to learning. So please let me know if I'm not. Getting some splits in right now. This is going to be fun because Agawat is throwing some haymakers out there. Only 10 seconds back from Riot there. Cryogen Gallopin only 1 second behind Agawat. What a race we've got to look forward to. Nathan, we talked about, that might have been pre-show. Or no, it was during the show, about how close you can expect times to be. That first split really backs that statement up.
I'm extremely impressed by the America's East Division 1. America's East altogether as well. I mean, you see these very close times like this, and I actually brought up the Premier Division during your broadcast a little bit. Me and Kate were shooting everybody over to, if they wanted to watch some more Zwift racing, go check this out. And I brought it up, and I said, Kate, this is what we were talking about. At the highest level, you see the percentages become very, very small when it comes to the differences between the athletes. And you can see that here coming to the surface as well in America's East. It goes to show you the caliber of the racers, that it's within 1 minute here between all the teams. That tells you that this level is right up there. Because when you start getting those marginal gain spaces, you know it's getting to the very tip of human ability.
That is the formula, Nathan. I am absolutely agreeing with you. The closer the competition, almost always, so obviously there's going to be outliers, but if this is the general rule of thumb, that means the higher the level, because it gets harder and harder and harder to win. And just like
or to get better, or to get faster. Absolutely. It just gets harder and harder to get faster. It's like, how far can we push my genome? Like, what am I doing?
Heck yes. And that's why you see, athletes really, there's different levels of commitment to sport, right? And it seems like the last level is where you just fully go into monk mode, where you then start
Monk
cutting
mode.
out.
I love it. Oh, we got a new one. That's better
New
than
one.
the Donnybrook. Here we go. Monk mode is on the table.
It doesn't have any glamour to it, though. Monk mode sounds terrible to me. Because what I'm saying is you're going to only weigh
I
your
don't know.
food.
I see Uguay like underneath the peach tree, like giving me some sort of
See?
proverb. Like,
You can be a happy fat monk, right? But that's not the monk I'm talking about.
no,
I'm talking about
she's
a
off
real
the front
thin.
killing it, leading two other women across the course right now for Aero AF. Inside Out coming through with the 21.26. C-Star Racing a Girl Do 21.34. Waddy Inc. SK holding down third place at the 14K check mark at 21.35. Core Sports they're at 22.46. Fading a little bit at the back end of this race. Royal City Cycling, I wonder if there was a little bit of a mix-up there with some of the sign-up or something along those lines. I know they're out on course, so we'll see if we can get them in here. We did have a couple of these earlier today as well where no splits came through for one of the teams, so we might have a secret upset. They were usually somewhere in that 9th to 5th. So, I don't have an expectation. They're super fast team, obviously, everything within 1 minute. But at the end of the day, I don't know if they're going to be grabbing or the expectation or the look forward would be for a podium spot. Maybe they'll bring an upset. We saw it earlier with Zed's understatement. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, they were the first place team because throughout the race, we didn't have a split for them. And all of a sudden, wham, they just put the proof in the pudding. So be on the watch out for that later in the race here. It's kind of like a... what is that? What's that toy that you Jack in the Box? It's kind of like a Jack in the Box. You're waiting. Like, whoa! What's the surprise at the end here? So that's going to be the Royal City Cycling at the end of the race, perhaps.
Jack in the Box reference. Nice job. So
I've got like my grandma's house and like me and my brothers and sisters sitting around the Jack in the Box and it's making a little noise right now.
That crazy sound that's all, like in horror movies.
It's now it's like a horror movie because they used it in horror movies after the Jack in the Box. They were like, "Oh, this scares."
It used to be fine, right? It used to be no
great.
big deal. Now it's terrifying.
They did that.
Right? Yeah. So this team doing a really good job inside out right now. I have to give credit while we have a moment here. Again, they're just past that second checkpoint. The Guerra family looked awesome on all the social media accounts. Looks like you guys had a blast out racing your mountain bikes. I saw all of the kids were out there racing. You were camped out next to the Boulder kids. So I saw that I felt terrific about just where this world is at, seeing your family at a bike race. So congratulations on that.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Appreciate that, David. Thanks.
It's beautiful.
Thanks a lot. I need to do my own YouTube blog and just a show about all that we're doing rather than take over the ZCL broadcasts. But I mean,
we have to watch
it was a
so
ton
much
of fun.
We watch so much junk content just collectively as human beings now. If there was a reality show about the Guerra family getting outside and going to bike races this summer, count me in. So Gallopin, Nathan, Cryogen here, has put together
That's quite a time.
21:07. That's very quick. Yeah, so how close were they to Riot at the last check? They were close. They were 11 seconds back. Did they make up time on Riot?
Not bad at all. Not bad at all. We'll have to give
if it's 5 seconds to Riot, you got to give them a huge tip of the cap.
Yeah, we'll get back to Riot here in just a moment. I just wanted to do a quick little shout out to these ladies, though, in Inside Out individually here. We do have Andrea Miller, level 50 Zwifter. She's a mountain biker. She's been out on the platform for a very long time. I got 5 pages of Zwift Power results here with Miller going all the way back to December 1st, 2019. She knows how to race the handicap races. When Hare and Hounds race actually was her first race in a C category. You hear that? C category. Hare and Hounds race. Well, it was a Hare and Hounds, so perhaps maybe it was a handicap, perhaps. We're not sure. Carrie Merritt's also a part of this level 45 Zwifter. Talk about the experience underneath the wheels here of these ladies. We also have Gabby Eddy is out here in level 40. We've got Lori Pridham, level 38 Zwifter. So pretty solid group of ladies here. A couple of them as well. Ballet is in here as well. So and Davies at the back.
Have you seen them, Nathan, in WTRL? Not to put you on the spot, but I'm going to put
I
an
have
open
not.
invitation.
Not that I can
Yeah,
think.
me either.
Not that I can
So,
think of.
with all the different time zones, Martin has promoted me to the marketing team for WTRL. So, I there's a time zone that fits anybody's lifestyle. I don't care where on the planet you are. So, ladies, I highly recommend you come race with us. Hopefully, if it goes well, you'll race with us in Platinum League. But you're going to have a blast no matter what. And if you want to get better in ZRL, boy, doing that homework, coming and racing WTRL. I mean, it's an outright series in and of its own, but it's the perfect complement to. It dovetails nicely, I should say, with ZRL. And here we are, the HJ Project. We love you guys. Nice to see a new team making their mark out here. They look
Well, this is
good.
actually going to be. I see HGJP in there from Langer, but this is Sisu Du.
This is Sisu Du. I felt like I was making a mistake.
Yeah,
I knew it. I got trapped.
Well, we got the kit here. I mean, but I did see that right away and was wondering as well. Perhaps just a guest rider, Langer, or Langer might ride across, and swap kits in order to be in, a part of the team, perhaps in real life, and then jumps on for the ZRL. All kinds of ways it can make that happen.
A free agent rider, right?
Yeah, Sisu Du, solid 21:34 so far. But that Gallopin team, they're chasing them down, and here they are. Cryogen. Awesome to see, as always.
Nice.
Brady, Alana Brady, that's a familiar name. 3.9
sure
to the front here now as she takes over on a very... Look at the setups from these ladies. These are some expensive bikes. Holy cow, all across.
Yeah,
I mean, right here, you're looking at almost 10, maybe 15,000 drops across, I would say. Something along those lines.
Well, it was well worth every drop. So you mentioned
15,
Brady.
Did I say 15,000? I meant 15 million.
Yeah, I was going to say that doesn't even get you a thimble full of water on that.
15 million drops.
My garage. Yes. I did the math. So the DWT, that's Debbie Woods Turner. She's a outstanding talent on this Cryogen team. Hillary Schmidt, Molly L., Pascal Legrand making up the team. Nathan, I was talking about it during premiere today, that Cryogen has this unbelievable resource that very few teams have, where they have hundreds of riders as part of the program. It's always someone ready to step up and fill in a spot if needed at the next level. So there's a lot of, it's like working for a company that's promoting from within.
So Gallopin is a climb, isn't it? Is that, I'm not incorrect, am I?
Correct. Absolutely. Excuse me while I clear my throat. In France, actually, you know what's funny? All of a sudden, I'm doubting myself.
Well, I mean,
there's a racer named Tony Gallopin, which is there've been a few Gallopin French racers with that last name. So rather than just answer
I think that's
without
the climb
being
right there. I think that is the climb. At least the switchbacks for it.
I believe so. And I'm looking it up, Nathan.
Well, every time, all the results are like a mountain or like people in KOM jerseys or something along those lines. Part of the top 10 most eventful moments, according to agentpalmer.com, whoever Agent Palmer is. But Gallopin here, I'm starting to have these themes. So, Anna has her whiteboard and her fashion police. I'm now the facts man. So we brought the penguins in earlier today. We're going to bring in emus. Anybody from herd, you're going to get your animal out here. Make sure, I'm just calling out to the community. Whatever whatever facts you're trying to bring to the table, we're just going to bring it in some sort of images or some sort of music. You're always going to get some sort of cameo of whatever it is the teams are bringing to the personality of the table. So that's the new thing with our Nathan side of the racing for sure, because I absolutely loved. We brought in the way this happened was in this afternoon in EMEA. I had no idea what kind of penguin that we had going on, and we went ahead and brought in the penguins and images of them and explained where they were from because Kate knows all about penguins. So I was like, well,
Was it
we got to have
the St. Francis penguin or the Emperor penguin? I'm trying to remember my
no.
penguins
It
now.
was the Magellanic,
Ah, so hey,
Magellanic. So and
well,
these guys they're bad boys. I mean, girls actually. It was a women's team. I mean, look at them. That's a posse right there. So
yeah, I would not mess with them. So here's some more facts for you in our fact-based broadcast. So Galopin is a mountain. It is not in France. It is Caracas, Venezuela. So completely different continent. But it is a mountain range, and it's beautiful, and it fits the theme for Cryogen as we look at Alana Brady here taking a monster pull on the front, the blue and white of Cryogen. So there you go. I'm glad I didn't leave that as saying, yeah, for sure, Nathan, it's in France, because that is incorrect. It's in South America. Venezuela. First time I think Venezuela's come up in a while.
and it looks like still holding down that 2107. As you can see here with Cryogen. Ego Wattage has been chasing them. I love it that they've picked up this Merc kit. It goes right with their branding. As you can see, Ego Watt, if you haven't seen their in real life kit, it's got a lot of that pinkish purple going on as well. One of the coolest in real. Actually, I want an Ego Watt kit, to be honest. I'm going to just have to order one of those up. Like, I'm not kidding. Take my money meme all over the broadcast because it is a sick kit. Gillen here, Nancy Gillen now backing off. She was a little bit off the front there. Now going to jump back on. Maybe slow down a little too much. Always super dangerous. You got to have that depth perception. They cannot slow down either at this point in the race. Pellerin's just got to continue hammering on. Nina's not even on her wheel. The disorganization with that weight, it really can mess things up. We're going to see if they can pull it back together here, Dave.
Sky Pellerin is an 18-year-old superstar in the making, and she's got a huge engine. So let's just feather that a little bit there, Sky, and we'll get everybody back in order. So this is Ego Wattage that we're looking at. Going to run through the riders on this team because they've had a good ride out here today. That's Nina Leleu. They're all Canadians on the team. Sky Pellerin, we were just looking at. Nancy Gillen on the team. Marie-André Oulet and Marie-José Levesque. So Ego Wattage looking really good out here as they're
jumping
down
in with
to
their
7.
team car real quick, Dave. Real quick, Dave.
Great.
I want to hear how they get things back together. This is going to be in with the team car here quick.
3, 2, 1, go Marie-Jo, Marie-André, prep.
Yes.
I think it's going to be in French, actually.
Some of it was. That's exciting for us. First time on the broadcast.
Yeah, and I believe Christine Boussoleil, I'm probably saying that horribly here, is going to be their DS from what I can see in the Discord channel. And a little bit of heavy breathing as usual. That's the usual when it comes to Discord channels.
Mission 5, 3, 2, 1, let's go.
Super chill.
Nancy prep. Good job.
I
Let's
love
go,
how
Laura.
chill it
Ça
is.
va bien?
Me too.
Very well done here by Ego Wattage. Amazing job.
I love this program. Again, go check out World of Zwift to learn more about the Ego Watt ladies. They're doing a wonderful job, Laura Perry and company. The Ego Watt team is Laura Perry, but we know her now as Mighty Mouse. She's exceptional.
Mighty Mouse. I love it.
That's what they call her.
Here she is.
That's what they call she actually is so cool. She has 2 nicknames. Some people call her Tater Tot as well. Britt Powell on this team, Michelle Maloney, Caroline Boyot, Melanie Rocher, and Linda Gingras. That's Ego Watt. The other team we were just with was Ego Wattage, their sister teams.
Look at in the background here. Oh, man. Riot. They are on absolute. They're 14 seconds back. They're almost in sight now. Ego Watt are trying to keep them off the heels. I'm going to go ahead and jump in with Ego Watt here. They've only got 4 left, so let's go ahead and hear how things are playing out in the team car.
1, Laura, pull through. Linda, you can come off, but be careful because we're going uphill. Yeah, that's fine. Let Laura come back up, ladies. Take this as a little bit of a breather. Britt, come on off a little bit.
I can't get there right now.
Okay, no worries.
Break and pull.
Okay.
I just can't get there. I can't pass Caroline.
Yeah, that's fine. Let's just go at this pace anyways because we're going uphill. Let's get around that corner. So just take a little bit of a breather if you can. Take that rest.
What's going on with the sticky draft? It's really weird. It's really off.
Well, we can discuss it after. Let's just get around this corner.
Not time for that discussion. Here we
That's
go.
a great
That's not
director
me.
right
Yeah,
there.
that's a good director.
Just gonna pass
Oh.
us.
And
Just put the hammer down.
Once you get over this, I'll let you come to the front.
Here
Caroline,
comes Riot.
Once we get to the very top.
Can we?
Go ahead. Yeah.
Great job, Brett.
Oh, no,
Great
Nathan, this
pull.
is awesome.
Phenomenal. 3, 2, 1. Caroline, pull through.
Let's watch
This is it,
Caroline come
This
through.
is a nice
Britt straight to
downhill,
the
so
back.
use your
Look at
weight,
how Britt
use
goes straight to the
momentum, use
back
that
there.
power. This is where
The
we
Brit
clump
has been
together.
doing.
So
You
who's
would love
ever gonna
her.
get
She's got a
fastest down
gamer
the hill, and then
in
we
her
get
heart,
back into
Nathan.
order.
She's been doing a lot of Twitch broadcasts or on Facebook. You can see her racing. She's getting really into it. It's cool to watch.
I'm gonna grab that
We
actually
have
if
to
we
back
can and
off
see if we
power
can
when
find
Riot
them.
passes.
She's probably streaming right now.
She is.
But-
I'm 99% sure. So this team, again, really good to spend some time with Agawatt and Agawattage. They both have great directors. And backing up what Nathan was saying earlier, you can see that they don't try to self-direct. And the director sets the tone with the communication as well, just like in real life. Typically, they're not looking for much feedback from riders during the event. Feedback as far as how you're feeling, but not your opinions on things very much.
100%, 100%. Interesting. Fun Fit Mel as well for that cryogen team that we were just talking about, having a good ride over on Twitch. I've seen some
cool.
of these riders, though. They're using a very interesting. Look at this. We're a little bit off topic here, but I mean, well, kind of. We were talking about different ways to use the game and how you're going to. She's using a third-person perspective and cleared the entirety of she's using no HUD mode on top of that. Interesting enough, it looks like. Unless this is a second Zwift that she's doing. But I have a feeling this is actually how she's doing this here. Perhaps. Or she may have a producer. Because somebody's changing camera angles. Or there's an auto camera angle change. That is possible as well with the right technology.
If so, she's a pro.
She's a
That's
pro.
she's a pro no matter what.
pro
She's
no
doing
matter
a
what.
great job. Yeah.
Absolutely doing a great job. Now, speaking of the tater tot, we've got her here as well, hammering. She's doing a great job. Look at this setup here. I mean, that's a gamer setup to the max here as well. Laura
Wow.
Perry, absolutely loving it here. They are killing it. Up into that 61 kilometers per hour, 2.4. We were just in with their team car. 3.5 kilometers to go. As you can see, Riot is right on them. We're going to watch the catch actually here from the first-person perspective. Here comes Riot right on through. They're going to allow them through. Well done to them. Ganyan, Grossman, all making their way through. There's the speed, and now right back on it.
It's pretty amazing that we've made it to 26K in, and we've obviously well aware of Riot. They've been our fastest at every split. We've mentioned them in passing as a reference to a team that could be in the Premier League. But Nathan, this is the cream of the crop, the creme de la creme, as they say. And every rider on this team has got chops. Claire Cameron out of Canada. Eleanor Weissman is the Belgian rider, but I believe she's living on the east coast of the United States right now. Evelyn Gagnon, one of two Canadians on this team, Megan Rathwell being the other, and the mighty Christina Grossman. This is an all-star squad. This, Nathan, I would say is the pride of the community right now. I haven't been able to watch because of Premier's timing. I haven't seen what's been happening in Europe, Middle East, and Africa, East or West. But is there a women's team that could go toe-to-toe with these ladies?
Yeah, I think. I mean, the EMEA. I mean, European
They're so
cycling
strong.
is just so incredibly strong. So there's definitely some teams. We did see the reality of that when we came into the playoffs last season, right? Like there was just a reality as once we got into the playoffs, just how incredibly strong European racing is. Did show itself to be a factor. But I have a feeling that Riot have really upped their game. And we're seeing a whole new level from them. They've definitely figured a lot of things out too. So I would. There's no way I'd be counting them out in any way. And I do think they're going to challenge some of those European teams a lot more this go around.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's pretty obvious to me that especially the organization, everything about Riot is pro, just top notch. Look at them right now. There wasn't a team that raced Premier League that pulled off what they're doing right here. At this kind of speed, 44K per hour, Nathan, they were in near perfect formation. This is a well-drilled team. And when teams say you can't get it right, well, Riot is. So they're obviously finding absolutely another level of racing out here. What's really fun to watch is the teams that are coming close, because Cryogen Galopin only 29 seconds back, Agawatt 9 seconds behind them. This all coming in from the 20K check. So 29 total kilometers of racing out here. This team, Riot, is making their second catch now. Wow.
Looking through here, we are seeing a little bit of the chatter coming on through. Christina Grossman's coach, Josh Lipka, in chat. Here comes KG and the Rioters, probably pretty proud of what they've been able to make happen as well. Josh being a big part of the coaching of a lot of
he's great.
Of the up and coming Zwifters. Putting together a lot of data as well, I think, in order to figure out how to find all of those marginal gains across any kind of Zwift racing when it comes to anything, when it comes to TT, when it comes to points race, or even into trying to get the top ranks. So Weissman, we saw last week an amazing breakaway ride from her, now leading things out through Aga Wattage and coming to the line with Grossman, now hanging on through this entire TT. I have a feeling that Christina Grossman's finding a whole new level of fitness beyond just being a sprinter. Saw her taking that second place in real life TT over last weekend. So not this past week, but the weekend before. Pretty amazing. So I have a feeling this is some newfound fitness she's taken to the line here, right on Weissman's wheel.
Tell you what, speaks to hiring a coach, as you were just talking about, Josh. And dedication. It is extremely cool to watch someone through the last year take it up a couple of notches. And that certainly would be Christina Grossman, a woman who has a huge heart, too, with all that she does. It's worth mentioning. It's been a while since we've had a chance to watch Christina race. Her efforts in Galga, Spanish Greyhound rescue, and just caring for dogs. Now, Agawad is just showing you that fighting spirit, but unfortunately, sometimes you got to know when enough is enough and just let go here. But you know what? At the end of the day, it'll all sort itself out. Here's your champions, the queens of the team time trial. Our third and final team time trial of season 3 is done and dusted. That certainly
look at Britt Powell. Look at Britt Powell just saying, forget it. I mean, she just opened up to the line here, 8.4. She just looking beast for a mode. Workout? I mean, going full beast mode. Here comes Laura Perry now across the line. Linda G. And then Caroline's going to be the last one to the line here. Gabby, it looks like, dropped off from inside out. A couple of the Agawatt ladies here now still making their ways to the line. As this is the mayhem that is the reality of racing in a TTT. You do end up with these with the stragglers. As you know, you got to burn matches and have your sacrificial lambs out there sometimes as well.
Yeah, it's the old circle of life. The good, the bad, it all happens.
Circle of life. I love it. Let's go ahead and jump across over to the men's/mixed racing now. We do have them out on course. They're hammering away, doing a great job. We do have 19K in for the first team out on course. We'll probably be just getting in the first splits as well for the last teams, the highest seeded teams. We're in with Courtney Murphy. This is a WTRL team, actually.
Actually, Courtney is a name that could be, you don't know the gender until you
That's actually a good
fact
point.
check.
I'm looking at the avatar. Definitely identifying woman, I believe, with the...
I agree. You know what? I'm going to roll the dice at this point now and say that Courtney is a woman. I'll take my chances, Nathan. I'll take the hit, the PR hit. Let's
go ahead and take a look at the standings. This is going to be the Division 3 A's. We'll just chat about them very quickly. This is not what we are watching currently. We are watching the B's, just so everybody knows. The B's are what we will be in with. But for the A's, Finesse Esports, that's a familiar name. Southern Ambassadors there, 105. This looks very competitive. When you don't have anything into the hundreds, 100 and teens, and you know, because 120 is a perfect score. This tells me that everyone has been changing spots the entirety. This looks like the most competitive standings I've seen all season. I'm gonna throw it out there that this down to 5th place is the most jostling of first place finishes actually amongst the entirety of the league in America's East Division 3A. Correct me if I'm wrong. Amongst the A's, I'll throw that out there.
Agree.
But you know, Martin can let me know if that's anywhere close to true. But I mean, this is so close and cool to see in the A's.
Yeah, I mean, okay, Nathan, I guess on the different metrics, but I completely agree with you. If you told me that you had 5 teams only separated by 8 points, I would say it doesn't get too much closer than that. And an excellent observation that when you see only 109 points, every other league I've looked at, the leading team is up over 110. So that's a great sign if you enjoy racing and having it be competitive out there. So this looks like a team that is this TFC? No, it is not. It's WTRL. I apologize.
WTRL. Yep. We're going to go ahead and head on over to the standings for this specific category. I was just highlighting real quickly the A's here as well. Now in the B category, which is what we are covering, the Peddler CC, another super competitive. Dirty Watts at 110. BMTR not out of it there, 106. They'd have to have an extremely insane breakthrough ride next week. But B1 Lay Watt Brothers there with 104. ATB Racing Nitrous. PDX Bats, followed up by Herd of Mad Mustangs. It's going to be WTRL SQL Dinos. I think that's who we're looking at right now. Followed up by Fred's Locomotives. That's a great. And then it's going to be Bello Farnham there as well with 27 points. Wonder if they're going to be out there today. But Peddler CC are leading things out. It's quite the battle between them and the Dirty Watts. We'll be keeping an eye out for them in the splits.
I tell you, one of the best problems that you could have, Nathan, is I'm moving over and kind of shifting my paperwork. I need Josh Lipka to organize my life as well. But taking a look here at with so many different divisions, right? America's East is extremely popular. It might not be as big as Europe, Middle East, and Africa zones, but it's big. I mean, there are a lot of racers across all of the divisions here. So Division 3B, I was in 4B, Nathan, so that's what was confusing me. But again, that's not a bad problem to have when it takes 5 minutes to find the racers because there's so many of them.
No, not a bad problem to have at all. 1 second off the back, Jay Atkinson, as you can see here right now. I do believe we have 2 ladies on the team. Is that going to be Courtney Murphy and then S. Kane is also one of the ladies on the team here as well. Hurricanes leading things out right now for this WTRL squad. Let's see if we can start getting some of the splits in for these men and ladies as I want to get an idea of how they're doing out here. 62 points. I have a feeling they might have missed a race perhaps out there, but good to see them out here for race number 7.
All right. So Peddlers CC, that's a name that I will remember for sure. It looks like it's all Canadian on that squad. Getting a feel. So this is one of the beautiful things about moving the coverage around, getting to highlight different riders and different teams, is we certainly learn a lot on these evenings.
Moving back, Boone, it looks like we're going to have one of the herd teams here. I wonder if this is going to be the herd of Mad
Mustangs, right?
Yeah, I would assume this is going to be the Mad Mustangs as they hammer away out on course, doing a good job, it looks like. And Boone leading things out. This is a familiar name. I think we've seen him as well as Giuseppe and a few of these others in the WTRL TTT. Lots of Trons.
Foster Boone. Yeah, Foster Boone, the rider that you're referencing there. Ed Finney on this team as well. Ed also races for, this is terrifying, the herd of dire wolves. You do not want to cross paths with them. So Craig Mishi is another rider here, a herd of Mad Mustangs. You mentioned Giuseppe Gasparo and Tim Watkins, along with, that's it. That's our herd of Mad Mustangs that we've got out here. Nice kit, looking good. The kit pops. Anna Russell would approve, I think. Well, but maybe not. Well, the hats are probably to designate the different riders, wouldn't you think, Nathan? That's intentional.
Yeah, I think so. Let's take a look here real quick through here. They may be using hats instead of socks. They might
Yeah,
be
it's
using
hard to
hats instead
say.
of socks. They might just like to have their own little style, though.
They
too,
might.
So
Yeah.
I think the numbers, Boone, 1 Ed, 6 Giuseppe, 4 Craig, I'm assuming that is, 3 Tim. I think that's what they're doing there with that situation. I do believe we're starting to get some splits to come in for the men. They just started to pop in, so good to see. And as we take a look here, that's the A current standing. So it does look like Digital District Velocity Racing are having an amazing race up ahead of Finesse Esports, which is a big upset as they are a top team. That's the A situation for the splits. Let's go ahead and take a look at what we're looking at on screen right now for the Bs. And it is going to be BMTR Grizzlies with a 28-47. Dirty Watts, they need a win here as it is only a 1-point difference between them and the Peddler CC. Peddler CC came in at the 14K mark at 2043, and Dirty Watts came in at 2026. So this may be the overtake that they are looking for. The win here today, or even a second place ahead of Peddler CC, could give them the series lead. So it's a big day here. Herd of Mustangs that we're looking at right now, 3102, as Tim looks to jump back onto the train.
So just some rules of thumb. If they have to, they can punch Tim's ticket and say, good job, Tim, thank you, because it is the fourth rider that we take the time off of. Nathan, you picked the perfect group to jump in with here today. No doubt about it. This one's going to be a thriller. Only 3 seconds separating the Grizzlies from the Dirty Watts there at 20K. So to be honest, this could go any of a few different directions, but you have to look at Peddler CC. They're not that far back. Big ask, though. Big ask to make up that much time on two teams that are going to be locked into mortal combat here for the final 9K. Actually, well, if you're looking at Cooper right here, you're looking at 6K to go.
30-11 ATP Racing Nitrogen. Current time, they are out by 40 seconds behind the late Watt brothers. JZQC. The Peddler CC are 29:05. Probably see them coming through here pretty quickly. I wonder if, no, D. Atkinson, nope, that's going to be for the WTRL boys and girls. But what is the lava kit? Is this going to be, I have a feeling this is probably that JZQC. We'll see if we can find them out on course here and get an idea of what is happening with this crew. And I have a feeling that this is going to be, without the names in there, it's sometimes, but I believe the Leywat brothers there, they are a French team. Now, they only started with 4. Thank you for the update there, Martin. It just popped on to the screen there. You can see right next to the distance marker that needs a little bit of correction there, as it keeps telling us that there's 29 left for each one of them. But the 4 there means that's how many were started with, and I am only seeing 4 riders here. So I could be wrong. They could have dropped one off a little bit earlier, but I have a feeling perhaps that's exactly who we're looking at, B1 Lay Watt brothers.
Well, we're going to have some answers for you not that far off. Look at that map up in the top right-hand corner there, just twisting and turning now through this technical sector here. It is 3 seconds there at that check, and then another 15 back to Peddlers CC. Les Watt brothers, if they were really French, I think they'd go by Les Watt Frères, Nathan.
Well, they might argue with you about that one. Yannick Basset is ranked,
he's got a French flag, does he?
He has the Canadian flag, and he definitely is riding for the Leywat brothers. Basset making his way to the front now.
In this modern era, a lot of hybrids, and I think that, yeah. So That was interesting. Actually, speaking of hybrid, when we were in with Agawatt, you could hear the director speaking in French and English, kind of mixing it up a
What
little
is
bit. Which I
30?
think,
Oh, go to 36. JD is actually DSing these guys. Wow.
oh,
And then did you see him
wow.
back off, Bosse to the back, and then taking over at the front. It's going to be Boone 5-5. I want to see how they do with the speed roll here, because this speed roll is out of all of the courses, this speed roll is so crucial because it goes right into a little 1% up and then right back down again. And if you can take all of that speed into that little up and not slow down, because this one is so difficult to pull off. I'm not sure I've been in a team that's pulled it off correctly once, to be honest. I've tried to. A lot of times people back off at exactly the wrong time. You got to hit the front at exactly the right time, come through at that speed, and your team has to not allow a gap to go out. They have to jump on you as you just come flying by. No speed roll, it looks like, from anybody at this point. Nobody even in the Super Tuck but one rider. Here we go. Now, maybe Alex is going to pull. Now he has to go hard, though. Nope, backs off. And look, this is the slowdown now. Now they go down to 49, 48. Watch here. Jay to the front. Not a huge criticism. Jay held on to 48 kilometers per hour, but that could have been 51, 52 with a speed roll and then grab on. It's very hard to pull off. There's no criticism there at all. I'm a part of a team that, they've won the world championship. We don't get it right. It's really hard to do, but it is possible. They did a pretty good job there. Not too much of a slowdown though, with the speed onto the flat.
That's stuff you only find in the Advanced Dungeon Master Guide.
Advanced Dungeon Master Guide. On sale.
That is, though. You know what? That's your master
class.
class.
This week only. On sale this week only.
Right. But you know what I'm saying, Nathan? It is those kind of techniques. It's here's a good way to put it: for experts only. Right? I mean, it's something that you need to be at a pretty high level to pull that kind of thing off and make it work.
Look at the Grizzlies. Look at this team.
Fastest team at the check.
Holy cow. BMTR. They got a new kitten game. Look at these guys.
They look good. Really slick.
Really looking good. Now, they got a little mixture. They got the vegan kit.
Some shorts say vegan, but some shorts
that's
don't.
not a BMTR kit. That's just the vegan kit. He's a rebel.
Well, you certainly, if you're a vegan, you don't want to be out riding for Butcher Box. You know what I mean?
BMTR hammering away here. The Mountaineers. I mean, they're bears. They're omnivores, dude. Bruh.
But I'm gonna guess there's vegan bears though. There's some bears that they make a stand and they just eat berries and twigs and stuff. So you never know. You never do know, do you? So that's
I think
not
nature
true.
runs that one.
Yeah, nature does run that one.
Nature runs that one. I don't think there's any ethical gains on that one or anything by the bear's point of view.
I think a calorie is a calorie is a calorie. Hey, BMTR, Nathan, do you know what that an acronym stands for?
It's gonna stand for. I'll just leave it. I was gonna try and make something up on the spot. I have no idea. To be honest.
Big man on campus or something. But yeah, no, I don't. We'll have to figure that out. But clearly, these are the Grizzlies that we're in with right now. They're in a real battle. I mean, we can joke around, but they're not. They are really digging
they're not messing
deep
around
here.
at all. This is a 3-second battle with Dirty Watts. And Dirty Watts earlier today with Eric Schlange actually was a pretty big Bear Mountaineers rider. Actually, I figured it standing
good
for
job.
the Bear Mountaineers started as a group of cyclists who live in and around New York City who, in the warmer weather, like to do long ride centuries with lots of climbing, often to the top of Bear Mountain and back. 3 years ago, we began hosting winter weekend group events on Zwift that featured long endurance rides, centuries, chase races that include, of course, lots of climbing. Because of this, our reach is now global as participation in our Zwift events has grown each year. Bear Mountaineers now come from many countries. Our ride leaders are accomplished cyclists and strive to make participation in Bear Mountaineers Zwift event fun, rewarding for all. We hope you will join us. So that is the BMTR, and I love this kit.
Thanks for the end.
Kit.
I saw it. Completely agreeing with Martin, and thank you, Martin, for all you do. Martin was saying they're going to be really looking forward to next week at Surrey if they love Bear Mountain, and I completely agree. national championships for U23 racers have been held at Bear Mountain before. So they've ridden on some really cool roads out there.
Speaking of juniors and stuff, well, we'll talk about this maybe in a minute, but I saw a guy this weekend who really enjoyed the fact that I was working with you, named Drew Dillman. Mr. Drew Dillman was racing this weekend,
great.
and he was like, there's this one time I came back from Costa Rica, and Dave would not shut up about me winning the championship. He didn't say it that way, but he was like, he was going off about it. It was a lot of fun seeing, and just how small the world is of cycling, too, as we had a lot of stories.
Well, it's funny.
That related to things that you were a part of that I was not a part. There was just a lot of networking going on. So Walker now
Two-way
go
street.
to the front. Here we go.
Yep,
Dave.
They're going to love
Awesome.
it. Finishing with, awesome is right, Nathan. 4 riders is what your time is taken off of, but you can see that they used up their 2. Well done, BMTR Grizzlies. Even if you don't take the win, you certainly impressed us here at Zwift Community Live. Nathan, right back at you. I heard from some of the Boulder people that they ran into you out there, and they had.
Boy.
Boy. Well, you're definitely famous from all the work that's happened with ZCL, and a lot of folks are connecting the dots, and I love it. We're having a really good time. Cooper bringing it home now. There's the arch that they will finish under.
That was the Nitrous.
What do you think?
The Nitrous team there from ATP, Racing Nitrous, coming across. They might be able to make up some time, but they had a pretty big gap to close down. SQL Dinos, we'll have to wait and see how that ends up playing out there. I have a feeling they may have faded a little bit more. PDX Bats here trying to hold off to the line. The DW2. Who's the Dirty Watts? That's who we're talking about here. That's the battle on our hands. Chad can't back off now. They got to go right to the line, right on by.
Yeah.
Up and out of the saddle, full on sprint. Do not wait. The Bobby G, let's go now. And this is the time. And Bobby G, 3.9. You need more than that. 187 beats per minute out of Canada right now. What is this kit he's wearing? It's a special dirt kit. Look at this orange dirt kit. I don't even know what's happening. Where's that even coming from? Bill now to the front, 7.472, also at 187. They're in the same heart rate monitor. Here comes Stargoer 2.
Grief.
There we go to the line. Huge result. We are looking for the peddlers, though. And this is going to
like
be the
watching
team.
2 planes landing on the same runway at the same time. Right there. Yikes.
This is they may be losing the lead right here, depending on what they come through with, because it was 29.05. Dirty Watts, it was 15 seconds. Were they able to bring it back? To me, it does look like the peddlers are going faster at the back end here, because we saw less than 4.0 watts per kilogram, and we're seeing 4.5 on the front now at this corner. If they were to ramp in the 5 or 6, they may have actually done it.
Yeah, actually, that's a very good point. They're putting together a negative split out here. It looks like they saved their best for last. Is it enough? Well, the proof is in the pudding, but these 4 riders are going to make this very, very close. Exceptional job. So the peddlers showing you why they were on the top of the table at this point in the season as we head into our final race next week. This one is done and dusted. Nathan, touch and go. Touch and go. As we'll be looking at those points here in a few minutes. Was it enough for the peddlers? I know they gave their all. That's all you can ask. Good job, guys.
This guy, S. Gravel. I mean,
wow.
That's some serious. That is some serious.
I feel like he's riding into my living room.
Sasquatch going on here.
Yeah.
I mean, Sebastian Gravel for the Peddler CC.
It's an extremely cool name, too.
Yeah. Level
Sebastian
33.
Gravel. Do not mess with him.
Coming out of Canada. 50
Of course.
plus here. And he just disappears. I mean, he's like, you can't look at me. I'm out of here.
I'm Audi 5000.
Yeah, Audi 5000 just disappears on us.
So that was fun.
I saw a lot of the crew actually coming out of Boulder. That was a lot of fun this weekend. Speaking of that, as we wait for results, they'll be coming in here in just a moment.
Hey.
It does look like Team Riot walked away with some things.
Can I give another shout out really quick, Nathan?
Yeah, let's go.
Please. So Ashton Lambie rides with us.
Woo!
Oh, Haley Batten. Haley Batten, you are my hero.
Ashton
Silver medal.
Lambie.
So
what else? There
Ashton
was one
Lambie
other
wins
thing.
a gold
There was one
medal.
other thing. What was it? In the Giro, we had another American. I mean, America.
Joe Dombrowski.
Yeah,
Joe
Dombrowski.
won.
Dombrowski as well. I saw Bishop posting about that. I mean, Something special is going on right now too because of Zwift. I'll have to say a lot of these connections. Maybe I'm insular. Maybe this is a little myopic, but I do think that because of Zwift, there's a lot of networking that has happened. Because the Ashton Lambie, I've only read an article, maybe 5 years about Ashton until me and you start broadcasting and talking about Ashton. Boom, I know who Ashton is. Like very close. Like as close as we can get virtually in this kind of a kind of way to know about him, how he races, all that stuff. I mean, there's so many connections that are made through this virtual platform now where I'm like, wow, there's network to network to network, and something special is happening, I think, in especially countries that maybe didn't have that. One of the main problems with U.S. cycling is how much landscape we have to cover in order to connect the whole country, and I think that's starting to happen a lot more where we can, connect everybody a lot more through this platform. Go ahead, Dave. You were going to say, though, amazing weekends for American cycling.
And that was it, though. You nailed it. Those names, and I love your point there. I would absolutely sign off on that. This has been a game changer as far as people are able to connect. We've talked about that since day one, but what we're seeing now is those connections have been made, and we're like the roots have taken. The tree is growing. We're adding rings to the trunk at this point, and it's awesome. So one of the growing pains has clearly been data, and I feel like things are coming along better. We had the best data that we've ever had for Premier League today. That was really, really nice to get almost immediate times up. I know they're working hard. There's so many people on Zwift on Tuesdays.
Tuesdays are
quite a day for
insane.
Zwift.
Yeah, absolutely insane when it comes to the
Taco Tuesday and Zwift Tuesday. Yeah.
Taco Tuesday and Zwift Tuesday. Waiting on results here for America's East Division 3B. For the women, though, I do have the results, it looks like, coming on. Well, let's see here. I have the men's results, and my bad for not having the women's up here. We'll go ahead and jump into the men's, and then we'll look at the women's here in just a moment. For the men's side of things, for America's East Division 3A, here we go. Dave, it looks like, I think this is a little bit of an upset here this evening, as men's mixed America's East Division 3A, Digital District Velocity Racing over Finesse Esports. And I think Finesse Esports are one of the most accomplished when it comes to this discipline.
I agree. It certainly looks like having 6 riders putting out 5 watts per kilo, they kind of out-muscled them out there today versus the 4 that Finesse started with. It's a quality-quantity equation. It's very interesting, but you got to give credit to DDVR, the Digital District Velocity Racing Team. A 38.20 is more than respectable. That's a great ride for first place, and the gold medal that goes with it. The silver standard is Finesse Esports. They're in at second. And third place, and a bronze medal waiting for the Southern Ambassadors. It was BRT Lightning in fourth. That's the chocolate medal. It's Les Intrepides, numero uno, in fifth. ATP Racing Chlorine in sixth. Velocio Lux in seventh. 30 Watts eighth. F's Cancer Team 4 in ninth. And Draft CU. That's your top 10 in our America's East Division 3A men's mixed.
It looks like a lot of the results are waiting at this point. I think we're having a little bit of a hold-up here for some reason across the board here. Just a tad. I'm waiting on the women's as well, and I'm not seeing anything loading in here. So we'll give it a couple of minutes here. I do like to go through the results, make sure that we get those. Give it a minute or two before we head out as we give a little bit of time here. I'll try and see where things are at with
the racing was so exciting that I actually had one of my ribs cramped during the racing. So did you see me? I was flopped over on my side, Nathan, commentating, trying to stretch. You were so busy.
For a moment there, I was like, "Is Dave going to be okay?" Don't put Dave in sight. Don't put Dave in sight. Next week, Dave, we talked about this with
flopped
Kate.
over. Yeah.
Leith Hill, 1.9
yes, Surrey
kilometers,
Hills,
6.8. 4.3 kilometers. Keith Hill is just insane. I mean, that's like 5% gradient at 4.3 kilometers. Then Fox Hill afterward, we joked with Kate because I wasn't sure she was saying fox after she was like, after she looked at the first two, a cat 4, a cat 3, a cat 4, boom, boom, boom. Probably outgo the lights for everybody out there next
fair.
week. Surrey Hills, points race, final race, playoffs on the line, as well as upgrades and demotions across. It's going to be fun. Premier Division. We still got one more race to go. America's West is coming at us shortly. Dave and Kate are going to be on that. I'll be hanging out in productions. We'll have a lot of fun with that. We're waiting on results. I think we are going to shoot to WTRL. Not sure if we're going to be able to get them anytime soon. Nothing is loading at this point. So we'll point you to WTRL. I'm getting into typing. 20 seconds, I'm being told. 20 seconds. So
great.
what can we fill?
Well worth it
here
to
for
wait.
20 seconds here to chat about things that are happening. One thing that is definitely happening is the Caroline Williams rides that are happening coming up this weekend. Be on the watch out for that. There's all kinds of posts going on about that. She's doing, I think it's 200 kilometers a day, if I'm not incorrect, something along those lines. Absolutely awesome. She's raised thousands of dollars so far. Go and help her do more. It's in memory of the son that they lost shortly after birth. Zachary, 6 years ago. Very cool. If you want a huge... she trains like a maniac. If you want to get into the mindset as well of a very, very dedicated racing mother, watch some of that motivation and what it's about for her. Try and hang on to her wheel. Good luck. I mean, they won today, didn't they? They won.
Yeah.
So she was in Premier Division that we're talking about. She's on Team Hino as well. This isn't just somebody. I mean, it's the full package. You know what I mean? It's like elite racer at the highest level of Zwift, using Zwift to raise money. You know what I mean? It's a huge community member, a part of all of these awesome community rides. We see her in Evo. We see her in innovation rides. We see her, thing after thing. It's like Zwifting multiple times a day. She is one of the coolest stories out there when it comes to Zwifting.
She's ridden more than 600 days in a row, Nathan, and that's not even close to the most impressive thing about her. She's an awesome mom. You know what I loved? When she reached out and was looking for support with this effort, there were a bunch of people at Zwift that said, yes, what can we do to help? Because she has earned our respect. As a matter of fact, Nathan, I don't know of any rider in the community that has gone to a higher level of my respect from just the way that she's carried herself. So you know what? I'm not physically at a level to go out and ride 200 kilometers in a day on Zwift. I mean, it's I'm doing all I can, and it ain't 200K. That's for sure. But I know you could. I don't know if you're planning on riding. I'm sure you'll jump in for at least some of it. Maybe you got other things going on, but either way.
I'll be in as much as I possibly can. Be good for good big training days. It's super motivating to go and do that. So as much as I can,
ride a few K for me. Ride a few K for me when you're out there, but you know that I'm thinking if you can. Well, maybe I'll jump in for a few K. I don't have to do the 200.
Okay, you don't got to do 200.
Heck
but
yeah.
That's there should be special badges and games specifically for that, specifically for that 200K. That's a lot of extra here. Let's go ahead and jump in. We do have the results. Sorry about that, everybody on the actually, we need to do this real quick, and let's go ahead and take a look here. We do have the B results. This is what we covered today. For the men, it is BMTR. Grizzlies there, 41-16, followed up by Dirty Watts. So BMTR were able to hold on. The Peddlers were not able to. It was close. They were way behind. They brought it within 2 seconds, but we're not able to close it completely down. That's your top three. The Lay Watt brothers that we covered, that's a solid result there. 54 seconds back, followed by WTRL SQL Dinos. Then it's going to be 8-Speed Racing Nitrous in 6th. Herd of Mad Mustangs, followed up by PDX Bats. That is your top 8 in the B category for the men. And in the women, in the C's, in the C's there, it's Division 3C. At the top, David's ATP Racing Hylogen.
There you go, PDX bats, cool Portland bats. All right, ATP Racing Halogen taking the win. 45 flat was the time. You can see the power output, watts per kilo, the same as the silver standard. Herd of Trusty Steeds. Taking the bronze medal will be Cryogen S.A. Colabra. Herd of Furious Foals in fourth. TFC Hammer Time in fifth. The C2 Lewatt Brothers JZQC in sixth. Dirty Dogs for seventh. That's Division 3C.
And see, I do not believe we have a D category here. So let's head on over to the women's results. And in the women's results here, Team Riot take it down by a full 47 seconds. Huge day for them. It was a battle for second, though, with Cryogen, Gallopin, and Egowatt. They went back and forth, and it ends up with Cryogen taking down that second spot, Egowatt in third. Inside Out in fourth place, only a little ways back there behind Egowatt. They're having a good ride. It looks like Seesaw Race Like a Girl do there in fifth at 3.9 watts per kilogram, 138. And then it's going to be Wadi Inc. that we covered early on. Great to see them out there killing it in sixth place. Agawattage in seventh. And then it's going to be Core Sports. That is the women's Division 1A that we covered today. In the B category, Cryogen at the top.
Yeah, Nathan, the Marie Blanc edition. 43.47 was the winning time. It was very, very close. Dutch Diesel Cycling Atomic Spice only 7.6 seconds back for the silver medal. Herd of Skipper Butterflies in third. That's bronze territory. Sub 20 seconds back. ATP Racing the Honeybees in fourth. It's Fearless Furiosas in fifth. Agawatt Fire for sixth. Lewatt Sisters JZQ Small C B in seventh. It's Herd of Monarch Butterflies in eighth. Revo Godivas in ninth. And then Seesaw Race Like a Girl Freya rounds out your top 10 for the Women's America East Division 1Bs.
And in the C's, it's the WTRL Drafting Dino C there. They take it down by only 1 second. What a great battle. ATP Racing Hive. Wow, that is a close one. And this is a well-known group of ladies actually here. Great to see the battles at the top here. Also, always awesome. We have covered this. I think this was one that we covered even back in Richmond, I think, for the points race. And really saw some pretty cool battles going on there as well. It looks like Zed Sun Tsunami. They're coming on through for third. Revo Doves in fourth. CCNS Merry Cranksters there in fifth. It's Lewatt Sisters JZQ in sixth. Cryogen Obsque in seventh. Herd of Sea Otters in eighth. It's going to be Lewatt Sisters JZQC3 in ninth. And then No Drama Llamas holding down. Loving them. There you go. In 10th place.
Loving them. They're the best. All right, ATP Racing Buzz, 51-35, Nathan. They're going to take the win. I love America's East Division 1Ds. These women are having a blast with this. The Herd of Badass Bobcats, 142 back. It was close, though. You could see third place was right there as WTRL's Drafting Dinos won. Take the bronze. Fear Factor for fourth. Lewatt Sisters, JZQ, Small C, Big D, fifth. 5 for 6, WTRL Drafting Dinos 2 and 7th. Herd of Bounding Bobcats in 8th. And rounding out your top 9, it's WTRL. That's the World Tactical Racing League. I was doing it for effect. Drafting Dinos for.
I messed it up.
No, it's okay. You know what? I love WTRL, and we do every Thursday we get together and have a blast with Platinum League. And Nathan, we're coming up on our 60th broadcast together doing that on Thursdays. Yeah. It's awesome.
Good stuff. Over a year. Absolutely awesome. All right. Well, we've got an hour to go to the next broadcast. It's a long day. We start at around 2 a.m. here at ZCL headquarters. It goes throughout the entire day. It goes over to Scotland, UK. There's people in LA. We've got Boulder. We've got Australia, New Zealand. Don't forget
it's a
Canada.
Journey.
I mean, don't forget we got someone in Canada all day long as well. Alarms are set.
Are you kidding? The mastermind. The mastermind is up in Canada.
I didn't
we
realize,
have to keep it cool.
I didn't realize like how many different countries are connected to make the broadcast and the racing league happen the way that it does. with all that
Yeah.
gets pushed out through the day. It's pretty amazing. We still got one more to go to connect Australia and Boulder and Wisconsin and Canada for one more broadcast. If you want to be there 1 hour from now, America's West. For those that want to stay up later, get up early. Dave's going to stay where he is. We're going to put him into we're going to Han Solo him, and he's going to be frozen till we wake him up. All right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you in just about an hour. As always, right on.